Hello everyone, my name is Brad Milliken and welcome to my YouTube channel. Uh, Actually been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a little while now. Got some insight and some inspiration from some of the channels that I currently watch, and I finally found something that I feel would be fun to share with everyone. So essentially something I've gotten into rather recently, but I've actually been a fan of for a long time, has been drifting. I've done a few race events here and there with some friends and some autocross, but my real passion has always been, well, drifting and golfing actually as well. I'm huge into golf, but drifting is something that I always thought that I couldn't get into because it's very expensive and you have to have like an extra car, and some things always like stood in my way. So I started this YouTube channel and I could not be at a better time because I actually just picked up my first drift project, and looking at the state of the car was actually kind of even more so what inspired the channel because it's in rough shape. I picked a car, and then once I got it and really looked it over and I could get more underneath it and do more checking, which I should have done first. It's pretty rough. It's probably at a point where people would be like, find a different chassis or find something else, because this might be a little too much, especially for me. A little background personal about me is I'm not good with automotive things. I don't know that much. I've never been a huge wrench guy. I've always been into golf and doing other things. I've never got into automotive and doing those things. So I don't know anything. Like in reality, like I really don't know anything when you talk about the difference between me and other people. So I'm sure a lot of you following the channel later on will be like, "Wow, you didn't know that?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, no." No, I didn't know anything. So you'll see a lot of like people that I know. I'll ask, I'll bring people over and feed them, and we'll do whatever to get it done and have some fun. And I'll be learning along the way. So you'll be there kind of learning if you don't know, or if you do, you'll see kind of again what it's like to learn all these things for the first time and probably screw them up. So, which is fine. That's how you learn. So actually, let's go out. Let's look at this drift car because it is anything but right now. So let's go take a peek.
Anyone thinking I still care or don't, but you still hit my phone up, and baby I'll be moving on, and I think it should be something I don't wanna hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, she likes everyone, and I never lied to admit that I was wrong, and I was so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on.
And there she is, the drift build in all of her shitty glory. It is a Nissan 240SX hatchback from 1990. I have no idea how many miles are on it. I just got it, so kind of random. But yeah, I have no idea how many miles are on it. Actually, that's odd that I don't know that. But it's a rolling chassis, so it's got all the suspension parts, and it's got tires and wheels, most of the panels, but it's completely gutted, and that's fine. That's less work. I do want interior, but for now, I've got so much welding and so many other things to do that right now, interior is kind of like the last of my concern. So yeah, the drift build is a little rough, but that's fine. I actually picked up this car. I picked up the fenders and an engine and some other stuff, a rebuild kit for the engine, for $1,000. That's not bad. When drift tax is a real thing, that's not bad. I'm actually pretty happy with what I paid for it, even though it's in rough shape, just because I actually had a chance to go out to Pennsylvania and pick up a chassis, like a perfect chassis. I mean, it was painted and everything. It was just perfect for $500. But I didn't, because that's 5.5 hours from here. So I didn't want to do it. Like, I guess you could call me lazy on it. I didn't want to go get it. But, yeah, that's just so far. That's just so far. But that's fine, because now you guys get a channel, and it's going to be awesome. So you'll get to see this thing. I really don't want to take forever on it. I know oh, hey, man, do it right. Build it, you know, take a long time and build it. And I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want to not take my time. But I don't want this to take 2 years. So, actually, let's take a peek at the engine that I picked up, because I wasn't going to go this route first. But when he offered it, I was like, I can't really pass it up. So let's take a look at the engine. All right, so the engine, drum roll please, is a 2JZ GE engine, and I am not turboing it because I want to learn how to drift without power first. And I've got the intake as well as the distributor cords. So yes, I want to learn before I get all this power into this car, because that's just the right way to do it. I mean, going JZ already was kind of like a big deal. You know, people are like, "Oh, you're going JZ," and I'm like, "Yeah," only because it was with the car. I mean, I'm not gonna pass it up if it runs and it's perfect, and I put it back together and the compression's great. Then fine, then awesome, then stolen. The bottom's where it's gonna suck, because the towers are okay. Like, that tower's a little rough. That tower's pretty good, but like this stuff down here, I'll get closer, is like tubbed out for sure. The hardest part too is like that entire frame rail section, and then that entire frame rail section is almost completely gone. And I mean like rusted out. So the good news is, though, it looks like somebody like rhino lined the underneath, like the frame rails all the way back are rhino lined, but up front they're not. So they got like halfway through rhino lining it, and then they did part of it, and they didn't do the one part that 240s I guess are like notorious for rusting out at, which is right where the frame rail meets up into the engine bay. So they're toast. Like, they are toast. So yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be messy, but that's cool. That's what it's all about. So it's gonna be a long process, and that's fine. I don't mind it that way, because then you get more out of it and I get more out of it. So it'll be fun that way. I think that it'll be completely worth it. That's kind of where I want to end the video today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It'll be a blast, I'm sure, going from dead to drift. So thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.